we're likely going to have a Nigerian that we can all be dreamed of. Then at the end of the day, we are going to have a nation, because Nigeria has never been a nation from the onset till date. But we look forward, believing that if those things can be put in place, we are likely going to have a nation that we can all be proud of. I do. I'm an advocate of restructuring for over 2 decades too. Well, I look at three angles of restructuring. One, I have always said it that center cannot hold. I've said it for over time. I view it, and it is clear. We cannot have a country where center becomes so strong as it is today, in the context case study of Nigeria as it is today. You have a center where one man single-handedly decide the fate of the entire country in the name of a president. Today, from what we have, the most strongest president in the world today is Nigerian president. He sit down, he decide he wants, and whatever he wants comes to be. Even when we align ourselves with America, believing that we learn or borrow from the democracy we are practicing today, by claim, in quotes, that we borrow from America, and the Americans don't run their government the way it is today. So with this over-centralization of government, with this situation where today we find ourselves, only recently we begin to breathe. And I commend the government of Tinubu, Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who come up with this issue that they had to go to Supreme Court to get ruling of this local government autonomy, and today we are getting to feel that something is beginning to happen. Gradually, I have always been part of those who believe the local government autonomy should be in place. This issue of total decentralization of the central government itself must be where, yes, you have a president, but at least let us see a situation where we can reduce the over concentration of power at the center. Let regional have power, or make it states, if you like. Let them have their own power, their autonomy, so that at the end of the day, they can be viable. Either the region become viable or the state become viable, so that those lazy governors we have today will no longer be lazy, because every state today is in Nigeria have one thing or the other to tap and generate resources. So we cannot over depend on the center that does not have enough today, depend on allocations and so on and so forth. I have always seen that coming, and we're getting to that level as it is today. The center cannot hold, because if you look at the realities of things, on normal circumstances, why should Nigerian, despite all the huge resources we have, solid mineral and so on and so forth, we are still looking for loans, because the center cannot hold any longer. So I'm happy we are beginning to realize truly we need to slack this over concentration of powers at the center. Let the decentralize the central government, so that at the end of the day, we can have this security issue that we have today, that will over concentrate on federal police will no longer be there. And I thank God, only a few days ago, I could see that the governors have made a strive move to say, yes, we have all agreed unanimously that there's need to have state policing. We are gradually getting there. Then in terms of course, the security issue is very important, because you do not expect to carry a man from Karana Moda and bring him to Oshobo, and you expect him to perform magic as a DPO in a particular area where probably all his life he has not been to Yoruba land, and you just bring him to a place and become a DPO, and you expect him to give a result in terms of security. It's not done. And even to an extent, even in terms of our elections, those who emerge becomes our lead. For those who will emerge our leader, if you have a system that allow the autonomy of the region to operate properly, some of these armed robbers we have today, some of these crooks we have today that in quotes go to Abuja to represent us as senators or whatever, if we have an autonomy that is very viable and strong, where people fail to be decided within their communities, some of this character do not have business to go to Abuja to represent us, because the system at that time, naturally, it will begin to fish out people based on their antecedents. We should be able to know the good ones among the bad ones. But today you have a system that encourages corruption, that somebody will go to Abuja under the guise of one godfather or the other becomes your governor. You have a system that encourages somebody who does not even know a particular terrain in the name of constituency, and today he represents you in Abuja, who does not even come home, because this is what this system encourages. So I am of the view that we must change the system, decentralize the central government, make the region or the state become viable, so that we can begin to groom good leaders who will represent us in any capacity, so that security-wise people can work in confidence, because those within communities know who are the members of their community, they know the good and the bad ones. So if a crime is being committed, it will be easy for them to detect who commit the crime. But under this arrangement where you have big something called central government, and the IG will have to speak before a commissioner of police can act, when you call a governor, a chief security officer, or chief security officer of the state under this arrangement, and the CP is not accountable to the governor, then it does not work.